Hi guys. Well, at last we are going to start with the history contents, okay, this year. So, as we are going to study the history of the humankind, okay, um, before it's compulsory to understand our origin, okay, how we start the humankind, okay, and then we will study all the development of our society, etc. But the first thing is to understand how humankind start, how humans or the origin of humans, okay. So to understand it, we have to learn this word, okay, evolution. We have to understand how humans evolve during the years, okay, during millions of years. Well, in this lesson, we are going to study firstly the theory of evolution. What is the meaning of evolution? Okay, the origin of this theory, and then we are going to understand the specific dynamic of evolution in humans. Okay. Well, the theory of evolution is a theory that was created in the 19th century by this guy. Okay, he's Charles Darwin. That man, he was a naturalist, so it's something similar nowadays to a biologist. Okay, and he think for the first time in the theory of evolution. He write, in fact, a very, very famous book that is this one, The Origin of a Species, okay? And for the first time, he create this new theory, okay? What is the, what is the them of the theory of evolution? Well, they talk about that the organism, for example, all the animals, all the plants, all the life things in the world, okay, all these things they evolve. All living things evolve. What that means? Well, for example, you have an organism, this one, okay, and the theory of evolution said that this organism, with it takes a lot of million of years, okay, but finally this organism will evolve and became a new organism, okay. For example, this one, and if it takes even more years, for example, this one, and if it takes even more and more and more years, for example, human appears, okay? So, all living organisms evolved during millions of years and became new organism that it doesn't exist before, okay? And the theory of evolution established that this evolution occur because of the natural selection. Okay, this is a difficult concept that I will explain after. Okay, well, a very important thing is that this theory was really revolutionary. Okay, because in the 19th century, when it was created, when Charles Darwin created this theory and think about it for the first time in history, okay, every scientist, all the humans, okay, thinks that the humans were created by God, okay, as you can see in this picture. This is a very famous painting of Miguel Angel, okay. They create that God create directly humans, in this case, Adam, okay, Adam and Eva. And also that God create directly all the animals, all the species, all the plants, all the planet. And he created all these things just with the shape and or just like they are nowadays. Okay, so God created Adam and Eve just in the same way as we are like humans, okay? With two hands, with two arms, with two legs, with our shape, okay? With our very well known shape. Es decir, Dios creó al hombre, a las plantas, a los animales y a todas las cosas que existen, pero las creó, ¡pum!, de repente, con la forma exacta que tienen ahora, ¿ok? Well, you have already studied, for example, that the Earth was not created, boom, like that, okay? The shape of the Earth and the shape of the continents and everything was the result of a very long evolution, okay? For example, remember the continental drift and that all the continents were together, okay, in the Pangea continent, okay? And then taken a lot of million years, all these continents were separated, okay? And nowadays there is the another shape in the earth. Well, it's the same thing for animals and plants, for every living things, okay? The shape of humans that we have as humans nowadays was not the shape, the bodies and the minds and that we have, the brain, our body was not the same, is not the same nowadays that we have in the past, okay? Es decir, antiguamente no teníamos la forma del cuerpo, del cerebro, etcétera, que tenemos hoy. Esto ha cambiado, okay? Well, so in the 19th century, everyone thinks in creationism, okay? So, nothing changed, okay? God created everything in the same way that we are nowadays, okay? He created everything and nothing is changing because God created things in a perfect way. So it's not necessary to change nothing, okay? So when Charles Darwin proposed the theory of evolution, it was really controversial, okay? Controversial means, in Spanish, controvertido quiere decir que causa, ¿cómo decirlo?, causa enfrentamiento, es decir, es un tema que es problemático, que no todo el mundo va a estar de acuerdo y que va a tener una fuerte oposición y un fuerte rechazo, okay? In fact, a lot of scientists reject this theory at the beginning, okay? But nowadays, this theory is completely proof, okay? So we have to believe in the theory of evolution because it's real, okay? Well, natural selection. I have already said that organisms evolve, okay? This is the theory of evolution because of natural selection. Well, natural selection is a dynamic, okay, or it's a system that allows evolution. Why? Why organisms evolve? Well, because, how to explain it? Okay, all the organisms, think about an animal, I don't know, in this example, I have a bird, okay? There are not food and there are not resources for every animal in the world, okay? So all the animals, including humans, okay, we have to fight for resources, okay? So an animal will survive if if this animal is the best adapted to the environment, okay? If you are the best adapted, you will survive. And if you will survive because you're well adapted to the environment and you have more food and you survive for a longer time than the others, okay, finally you can have babies, okay? You can reproduce yourself. So you can transmit all your characteristics. That means the shape of your body, the color of your hair, or the color of your eyes, your size, etc. You can transmit all these things that make you survive, okay, you will transmit all these characteristics to your descendants, okay, to your babies. And how you can transmit all these characteristics, especially physical characteristics? Well, thanks to the genes, okay? And I explained what is the meaning of genes. Probably you have already studied in biology, or I don't know, okay? You have here an image of the DNA. In Spanish, el ADN, las cadenas de ADN, okay? The DNA are building by genes, okay? They are built by genes, or they are composed of different genes, and these genes contains the characteristics of the animal or the plant or the living thing, okay? So these genes change during the time because of mutations, okay? Es decir, un gen va cambiando con el tiempo porque se producen mutaciones. This is something very difficult to explain, okay? I'm not a biologist, and in fact, even if I have our biologists is very difficult to explain for you, okay? You're so young, but remember it, okay? Genes are inside the DNA, and because of mutation, they will change during the time, okay? And this change include different characteristics, okay? Así que voy a explicarlo también un segundo en español porque es un poco complejo. Lo que hace la selección natural es, o es un proceso, por decirlo así, ¿vale? Es el proceso por el cual ¿quién va a sobrevivir? Aquellos animales que mejor se adapten a su entorno. ¿Qué quiere decir esto? Pues que se van a adaptar según el entorno que tengan. Por ejemplo, si el entorno es seco, si es un desierto, se adaptarán mejor aquellos animales que, por sus características físicas, sean o aguanten mejor el calor, o consigan más fácilmente agua, o al revés, consigan sobrevivir más tiempo sin necesidad de agua, o tengan una piel más adaptada al sol, etcétera, etcétera, ¿vale? Será diferente de aquellos animales que tengan que adaptarse a un clima helado, por ejemplo, los que vivan en el Polo Norte, ¿vale? Esos animales tendrán que estar adaptados a un clima muy frío, tendrán que tener o bien reservas de grasa, o bien una piel muy espesa para aguantar el frío, tendrán que tener un color blanco, porque los osos polares, por ejemplo, son de un color blanco porque tienen que ocultarse, ¿no? Y no hay árboles entre los que ocultarse. Sus presas les pueden ver fácilmente si son negros, son blancos para que no se les vea, se adaptan bien al medio. Aquellos animales que tienen esas características van a sobrevivir más, no se los van a comer, o van a conseguir cazar más animales y van a poder vivir más tiempo, ¿vale? Así que serán aquellos que se reproduzcan, y cuando se reproduzcan dejarán esas características a sus hijos, ¿vale? Gracias a el ADN y gracias a los genes, ¿ok? You have here the example, it's a typical example of a bird, okay? This bird will survive because of their characteristics, okay? And a lot of million years after, okay, he transmit all their characteristics to different descendants, okay? Each descendant, each of this bird, okay, will be adapted to a different environment, okay? So they have to survive. In order to survive, their genes, their characteristics will change depending on the environment. For example, you can see the difference in the beaks, okay? Veis las diferencias en los piquitos de los pájaros, okay? There are different shape, okay? This one is different to, for example, this one, okay? And also the color, for example. This is a black bird, and this is more or less, I don't know, yellow or, okay? And this is because they have to be adapted to a different environment, okay? Well, I hope that you have more or less understand it. To do it better, okay, better than me, I will give you another video, okay? Because it's really, really well explained. All this concept of natural selection, okay? Espero que luego lo veáis y yo creo que lo vais a entender mucho mejor, vienen imágenes, etcétera, y viene súper bien explicado. I'm sorry because the video is only in Spanish, okay? But I think that is really, really interesting for you. So, bye-bye.